right, good afternoon and welcome to Hillside UMC's Midweek Connection. My name is Travis Jones. I'm the Minister of Spiritual Formation at Hillside. It's my honor to welcome you here online with us at YouTube Live. We have an announcement before we get started with today's special guest. And our number one announcement that we've got today is that we're going to be doing a virtual VBS at Hillside this year for summer. Normally we have a VBS experience that has about 400 kids that are a part of that. And so this year we decided to go virtual based off circumstances and wanted to keep families safe. And so a fun virtual VBS experience is coming up. It's Focus VBS, and it'll be on June 15th through the 18th, 2020. And you can get more information about that at hillsideumc.org/VBS. And I would encourage you to be a part of that. I'm going to be a part of it this year with I got a buddy of mine named Otto. So it's going to be an awesome time for your kids. Just want to encourage you to be a part of that. So that was our number one announcement. And so we have an awesome day planned. We're going to be a little shorter going forward. We're going to run it at about 30 to 40 minutes on average for these midweek check-ins or midweek connections going forward. So before we get started and too close into it, we had a couple questions about how to find our sermon discussion questions. So I wanted to put that out there while people are getting on there. So again, we're going to let some folks get on here, but while we're doing that, I'm going to do a screen share real quick and show you how to actually do that. If you go to hillsideumc.org and you go up to the Connect bar, it'll drop down and you go to Spiritual Formation. And when that link pulls through here, you'll be able to scroll down to the bottom of the page and you will see weekly sermon-based questions for life groups. If you click on that right there will actually give you the sermon discussion questions from the previous Sunday. And what we try to do is we try to make those current as of Monday at 12. Sometimes I'm able to get those up a lot earlier than that, like Sunday afternoon. So that's where they're at. And just want to encourage you to check those out. And so we got some people coming on. Hello, Tina. It's good to see you on here. Tina Kirkland is on with us right now. And so as you're getting and coming online, we have a special guest with us today that I want to bring online here in a second. And we're going to have a fun question. And this fun question, I threw this fun question out at her, and she was like, oh, I'm going to have to process that. But before we get to our fun question, let me go ahead and bring our special guest online. Miss Christy Good, you're online with us right now. Hello, Christy.
Hello, everybody. It's good to see you.
If you didn't see it beforehand, she was fixing her hair. I don't have to worry about that.
I just got to make sure it's all fluffy and everybody can see the giant curls and the big hot mess that it always is.
Yeah, I had giant golden curls, and I had to shave mine because they got in the way.
Well, if I decide to cut mine, I'll make sure they make a wig out of it, and then you can
have
my
hair.
It,
right? I'll take it.
Would love to see that.
I'll take it. So, Christy, you do a lot at the church, and I want to have you talk about that in just a second. But we're going to throw our fun question out first, right? And so this is for you, and it's also for everybody who's watching with us and who's going to be joining us. And the question is this: is you can have an unlimited supply of one thing for the rest of your life. What would that thing be?
Well, when you first asked me, my first thought was chocolate. So
okay, all right, that was your first. Your first thought was
that was my first thought was chocolate. I thought I really need to go more deep or go a little bit more biblical on it or something. But
I feel like you would get tired of chocolate.
I'm going to stick with chocolate. A girl's got to have her chocolate because you just need it sometimes. In fact, I have some.
See, I would get so tired of chocolate. It's like when my kid goes trick or treating and he comes home and dumps starts going through all his stuff. And I go up and I give, I do the chocolate tax. Well, I'm like, oh, those are mine. That's the cost of taking you around to houses and whatnot. I get tired of chocolate real quick. Like I'm like 2 candy bars into it going, I'm done with chocolate.
Well, you got to be able to pace yourself, but you always need to have it available when you need it. So, and there was actually talking about Halloween. There was one time that one of my kids didn't want to go trick or treating, and I said, there is chocolate out there with my name written out all over it. You go out and you trick or treat right now. And I made them.
You made them go to get the.
I made them go trick or treating so that I could get my yearly chocolate mess.
Hey, listen, I don't judge. No judgment on my part here. So I'm gonna read this out.
We're not great parents. It's just totally divine intervention that made our kids who they are today.
Oh yeah. See, mine's still in progress, so we're not sure that's gonna work out at this point. Jim Hooper, good afternoon. Welcome to the Midweek Connection. So I'm looking at the comments right now, and yeah, I did say that. I'd get so tired of chocolate. It says, I get so tired of chocolate, said the man. LOL. I'm sorry. I would get tired of chocolate. So my answer, if I could have
Yep.
one thing, unlimited supply of one thing. Shoo. See, I always go practical with stuff like this. I assume that everything is perfect in the world and I have the car I want to. I'd say unlimited gasoline. I could go anywhere without having to go to the gas station. That would be it because I hate the gas station. Hate going to the gas station.
See, that's the difference there between spiritual formation and mission and outreach. You can bond with people over chocolate, but you cannot bond with people over gasoline.
That's the thing. I don't want to bond with people over gasoline. Right now, I go pump and leave. So Tina Kirkland says, she says, I'm going to put up here, unlimited funds to travel. Lots of places I desire to visit. I'm good with that. I think, Mom was in line with that, with the gasoline comment, because I could go to all kinds of different places. So thank you, Tina. We appreciate that. If you're just joining us, the question was, if you could have if you could have an unlimited supply of anything for the rest of your life, what would it be? Christy said chocolate. I said gasoline because I'm super practical, and I even drive a car that gets like 30 miles to a gallon. So what does that tell you, right? Yeah. So yeah, unlimited travel is what Tina said. If you're out there, tell us what you would like to have an unlimited supply for the rest of your life. Now, if I were to have it, let me give you one more second guess at that. Second shot at it. I'm going to take a second shot at it to outside of chocolate. If you had chocolate, if chocolate was not an issue, what would it be?
You didn't tell me you were going to ask me this.
You're right. I like to throw curveballs.
I know. I don't know. I am so blessed. I can't imagine needing anything more than what I already have right now.
Okay, I'm looking for the eye roll emoticon. I don't see it anywhere.
I know.
There's no eye roll emoticon anywhere.
I know.
Yeah, I say okay. Let's see. That's not fair because then anything I say is going to seem super trivial after that. Like I would have this, and we're like, oh yeah, look at him. Yeah, Christy's blessed and highly favored, right? Okay, well we'll let it go. If you have an answer to that, throw it up online. Love to see it. Love to put it up on the broadcast. So, Christy, you are the director of missions and outreach at Hillside UMC, right?
That is correct.
That is correct. So tell us a little bit about what that actually means for somebody who doesn't maybe even go to Hillside, for somebody that goes to Hillside and is just new, or they've been there a couple of years and still have no idea what that means. Tell us what that means and what your role is.
Mm-hmm. So this position actually formed. I've been at Hillside serving all of you for 14 years, and it started with nobody in this position. So it was created. Dorcas just walked by. It was created at that point to grow the missions of Hillside. So not only did I not know what I was doing, but I had to learn on the fly. What I learned was the first thing you need to do is figure out what everybody else in the community is doing so that you don't become redundant and the whole community is doing the same thing and there's these giant holes. So that was the first thing we did. So part of it is it's really important to stay in touch with the rest of the community, understanding what everybody else is doing. Hillside cannot offer outreach for everybody's heart. We can't do everything. But as a community gathering together with other churches and other nonprofit or faith-based organizations, we can connect you in different areas. So if you wanted to work at a clothes pantry, I could send you to a clothes pantry or, a food pantry, or if you wanted to work in the prison ministry or whatever. So my job is to connect the church as individuals to wherever God is leading their heart to serve. Right. The second part of it is to grow the community outreach within the church. So the large church events such as Rise Against Hunger that a lot of people did last year, organizing that event, or my Hillside Serves Days, my Hillside in Action Days, anything that's an outreach, summer lunches, all of that. If you're helping other people, you're falling under my umbrella.
It's a big umbrella.
Also on top of that is to help people get connected within the church. So if you call up and you want to be a greeter, if you call me, I'll point you to Beth Fetterman, or if you want to be part of the spiritual formation team, I will point them to Travis or wherever. So wherever your heart is in the church and outside the church.
Yeah, see, that's a big umbrella. That's a huge umbrella. So for those of you watching, everything she just said, I've witnessed it, and she does a fantastic job at that. So we're going to get into some of that, specifically with summer coming up. But before we do that, we've got some of our sermon discussion questions. I picked 3 out of the, I think, 7 that we had. And I like to go through those. So if you were able to get those and you've taken a look at those, pull them up now. And these questions, like I said, I usually have like, I think I've got 7 right now, but we're going to go through 3 of them, and then we're going to get into some of this stuff that involves missions outreach and things like that, specifically the summer aspect of things. So if you were able to watch with us online this last Sunday, Herzen did I thought a masterful job of talking about our stories and things like that. And he asked a couple questions, and I thought they were real pointed questions. So I wanted to throw those questions out there, some of them out there, and see what kind of responses we get. And these questions are for you as well, Christy. Carrie Muffett, I'm going to put her up on the podcast. She says, "Hi, Christy. I miss seeing your face."
Oh, I miss seeing yours too, Carrie.
There you go. So question number 1. It says public/corporate worship is a huge part of who we are as believers. What do you, and this is for you, either watching or Christy, what do you currently miss most about not meeting together in person?
You want me to go first?
Yeah, go first.
Okay, I'll go first. So I miss everybody.
That was my answer. You stole it.
I know. Sorry. I miss seeing everybody walking through the church. I miss everybody at church. I miss serving alongside of everybody. Herzen said he misses hugs. I miss hugs and giving and taking hugs. So, which is, going to be a while before we can do that. But just the embracing hugs that this church is so good at doing. So I miss everybody.
You miss everybody.
That's what I miss.
That's a good answer. Yeah. And if you're watching with us, again, the question's been posted there. What do you currently miss most about meeting together in person at church? And so mine, I miss the energy. I mean, not that the energy's not there when we're doing our online stuff, but there's a difference in the energy that exists when you have a room full of people all in one accord worshiping. It's just different. And we've had times where we're doing the online thing, and say I'm getting up to do hosting. And I'm looking at a camera. Sometimes I don't even know which camera I'm looking at, but I'm looking at something, and it's an inanimate object, and I'm like, okay, there is no one in here right now, and it feels different to me. So I miss that energy, but mine goes beyond even Sunday. I miss the activity level, being on campus. And for those of you watching that don't know, there is a preschool and academy actually on Hillside's campus as well, Hillside Preschool and Academy, and the activity that goes with that is incredible. I miss sitting in my office and seeing like second graders go down the hall going, peace and quiet. I miss seeing that kind of stuff.
Lips and hips.
Yeah, lips. Yeah, I miss seeing that kind of stuff. So that's what I miss. What do you miss at home? Like, what do you miss about corporate worship? What is it for you that does that? So I think we're going to have some people chiming in about that. There is a little bit of delay on our feed a little bit, so we'll have those, and I'll put those up as we go.
Another thing that I miss is driving by the church and seeing the parking lot full. It's like, with the exception of Saturday, this parking lot is full every single day. And there's always stuff going on. And to see it empty is just the most bizarre thing to see. It is.
It is very bizarre. It is, especially when you're used to, like Herzen mentioned, we got a comment. I'll put it up in a second. But Herzen mentioned carpool. Right? He said, yeah, carpool is like, it's a masterful work of art as it happens. Maybe not the first like couple days school starts, but after that, it's a masterful working thing. Carrie says she says that campus is too quiet. Yeah, it's a little unnerving, especially if you're an auditory person. If you're just like dead silence all the time, it makes those little tiny sounds that you do hear stand out big. Like in the middle of the night when you wake up because the door slammed, and you're like, what? And it's your kid down the hall. So. Yeah, campus is too quiet. So let's just keep going so we can. We want to get to some of the other questions here. So I love this question. Where have you found and experienced community taking the church outside of its walls? Now, that's a kind of a loaded question, because what we want people to experience community in the church, right? In the building. But we also know that we're the church, and wherever we go, we take that with us. So it's more of a question about where have you experienced. It doesn't have to be in a church setting, but it's that idea of community. I think Herzen even spoke to that a little bit. So where have you found and experienced community outside of the walls of the church?
Well, I've been in quarantine for a long time, so I haven't really gotten out until just recently. And the biggest blessing to me are the hiking trails and stuff. David and I were going to go on our hike this year, which didn't happen. And but getting out and just walking and hiking, and I've hooked up with a friend or two, just walk, and they'll walk with me and take me for a walk. I feel like I need to have a leash. And in fact, when we were going to the doctor one time, I had to stop. David was driving, and I had to stop myself from rolling down the window when I saw a white walker and say, "Hey, what's your name?" Because I hadn't talked to anybody else in so long. I was willing to talk to anybody. But I think that the thing that I love, though, in our community right now, I haven't been able to experience it, is that all the organizations, these outreach organizations, a lot of them are still working. They're just not asking for the volunteers to come in to serve because they just have to keep everybody safe, but they're finding ways to serve. And I love the creativity and the way that they're, like Forever Fed, for example, instead of the mobile food pantry, they're just giving the boxes, and just about all the food pantries are doing that. So kind of a cool way.
Yeah.
Next Step Ministries, when they had to close down, they are a special needs ministry for people that have aged out of the high school. So they have young adults and adults that are come to them, and they couldn't allow them to come, so they started doing Zoom phone calls. And I just love that idea that they take whatever they've got and they do the best they can, and they're starting to bring people back in now, so slowly but surely. But yeah, it's just kind of cool the way that people are really creative in how to serve and to do things.
It is.
We're
It
going to
is.
talk about that some more later.
Yeah, one of my favorite things outside of the walls of the church, and I think I've talked about this before in one of our other calls, not with you, but with some of their guests. But my wife and I will go on walks in our neighborhood, and our neighborhood's not that big. But you can't walk past the house that the neighbor's outside without a conversation, right? It just that's just the way it is, and it's not something I had experienced until moving to where we are now, and then this happening. Because even after moving, people were kind of still caught up in their own kind of world. But now it's slowed down enough to where, I mean, literally, I've met more people in my immediate surroundings, and I can't walk, or we can't go anywhere in this little area that we're in right now without having a 20-minute conversation with a person,
And
all
the
while
key to that is
maintaining,
slowing down.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, all while
Keep
maintaining social
it
distance.
down. Mm-hmm.
But it's been nice, and having that community, and engaging with folks and stuff like that. It's been nice to actually have that. I thought it's been great. So the question was, again, if you're watching at home, where have you found an experienced community taking the church outside of the walls? And I'll leave that out there for you guys so we can move on. Our third question is, if there was one thing, and this is a good lead in, but if there's one thing that Hillside Church could offer our community, and this was Herzen's question. He says, what would you want that to be? If there was one thing that Hillside Church could offer our community, what would you want it to be?
For me, it would just be bringing the community back together to serve together, and to, I think it's, what you said, that everybody's slowing down, and I think that we really needed to do that too. We've all been in such a rush and going 90 to 150 miles an hour for, since you become an adult. That's just the
Adult.
tempo that we were set at. And now we've all slowed down and are finding different ways to be at home and be safe. But I cannot wait until we can all get back together and serve together as a community. And I would love for Hillside to have the community so comfortable, just like we did with Rise Against Hunger. When I would love to do another Rise Against Hunger, because it wasn't just Hillside, it was other churches, other organizations. There were football teams, baseball teams, different schools, different everything. It was just people coming together to serve, and I love that, and I would love to be able to do that again and again and again and again.
That's an answer that I would have expected, just based off what it is you're passionate about. For me, mine's going to be kind of similar with what I do. But it would be, I'd like to continue to take outside of our walls, to not let the actual building be the thing that keeps us bound up, if that makes sense. To literally be the church, and I think this is forcing us to do just that, to be the church outside the walls, to be the church anywhere you're at, and so that would be my thing, and I think we're actually doing a lot of that. So that's a good segue into the actual discussion. Oh yeah, Carrie's like our top person today. She's like throwing out comments. She says, "Oh, what you were talking about was so much fun. The serving, the
Mhm.
the deal with the putting together the food boxes and stuff." And I agree. I was there. I was ringing the gong every time. You know,
I
that's what
never
I
did
miss.
that.
I miss the counting and ringing the gong.
I wanted to do that and I never got to.
Well, hey, you know what? Next time, you're the one running the show. Just come up, and take it out of my hand.
I know.
I enjoyed
I
it.
was so happy just to serve that I didn't need it, but I really did
Oh,
want to
come
do
on!
it.
You wanted to ring the gong. I mean, it was probably the best.
But I don't get a chance to be an Indian very often, and with that organization, I was able to do that. So it was a beautiful day.
It was. It
So
was. I hope we get to do it again. It's a costly thing, but I hope
thank
we get
you.
to do it again. So this is a good transition into the subject matter. We've been talking a lot. We've been mentioning this during our Sunday morning services that summer outreaches are coming up, and that they are going to look different this year. I know in the years past. I mean, if you've been a part of anything and you're watching online, we've had summer lunch and all kinds of stuff like that. It's a big moving machine with lots of moving pieces. But this year is going to look different but there's still opportunities. It's just going to look different. You want to speak to that for a bit?
Yeah,
And I think I'm going to
I
make you
really
full
do.
screen for this. You're going to get
Wow,
the full thing. So
the full,
yeah.
great. Instead of being this big, now I'm going to be this wide. Thank you,
And here we
Travis.
go. There you are.
So yes, everything's summer is going to be different this year. Starting with summer lunches, and I'm glad I have the opportunity to actually just tell everybody what we're doing. I've been in discussions with Must Ministries for 6 to 8 weeks now, talking about what we're going to do and how it's going to work out. And the final decision is we are not going to be making any summer lunches here at Hillside during the summer, which saddens me because we have all these people that love to do it. And this is the second year that we've had this hitch. But it's okay. We're still going to feed the children, which that's the number one most important thing. Must Ministries is purchasing lunches for the children, and they will have a drive-through pickup where the family will come in, and we will provide with each child. They will get 5 entrees and 2 snacks and a drink for each day. So I guess that would be like 10 snacks, and 5 drinks. And they will each one will get 2 bags, the one with the frozen food or the entrees that are perishable, and then the bag of non-perishables. And so we will provide those. So it's going to be a basic drive-through. Here's your food. How many kids do you have? Here you go. Thank you, and I'll see you next week. Hillside is doing that on Mondays.
Mondays.
Well, on Monday.
So it's still happening. It's just different.
It's completely different. We're not delivering at this point. We do expect to get some phone calls because we do expect there's going to be a few families that just can't get here. There's the Way, which is the where City on a Hill and Woodstock UMC, they joined churches. Woodstock United Methodist and City on a Hill. I want to make sure that's clear. They joined, and they are now at Woodstock United Methodist in downtown Woodstock. They are also a distribution point, and they are doing drive-through pickup on Tuesdays. So if they can't make it to Hillside, we'll recommend that they go to Woodstock City Church, I'm sorry, not Woodstock City Church, The Way, which is Woodstock United Methodist Church. This is so hard.
Hey, listen, there's a lot of churches around. It's okay.
I know, we're around friends, so so anyway, so that'll be our first option. If they absolutely cannot make it, then we'll see if we can figure out some other way to make sure that the children get fed. I know a lot of people have said to me, well, if they don't have vehicles, but since school has let out, all of these families have been going to different distribution sites to receive breakfast and lunches for their children as a alternative to the free lunch program. So the families have been doing it all along for the last 2 months. We're expecting they're going to be able to continue to do it. They'll just have a different location to go to. And there are 6 different locations in Cherokee County, and they're all doing the drive-through on either Monday or Tuesday. So that's in Waleska and in Canton, and so just around, and in Woodstock, so around the county. So that's the
summer
deal
lunch,
with
right?
that.
That's summer lunch, right? That's
summer lunch.
That's summer lunch. Now there's other things that are happening too, though, right?
Yeah, but let me finish
Yeah.
with the summer lunch thing. I'm going to set up a Sign Up Genius. We'll need about 8 volunteers every Monday to help do that. The first week, we're probably going to use our core group just so we all understand what we're doing. And then after that, we'll bring other people in to help out. So if you love it, and unfortunately, we can't have children doing this, they will have to be 18 and older. But if you're comfortable, and you will have to wear masks, and you'll have to just lather and bathe in hand sanitizer, because we already do that anyway, right? And but we will be allowing people to serve, but in a much smaller mass. So yes, we do have more.
Okay.
So Give a Kid a Chance is also going to look completely different this year. Give a Kid a Chance is our backpack school supply ministry that throughout the years they have provided not only backpacks and school supplies, but they also provide clothing, haircuts, medical screening. They give them food, they give them books, they get stuffed animals. It is just a big day. We usually have about 1,600 to 2,000, sometimes even more people that come through the doors on that one day. This year, it's only going to be backpacks. There's not going to be any other benefit that they're going to be receiving. They hope to go back to the way it was next year. But for this year, because church has not been in session, and well, it has been in session, but not at the church, they haven't had the opportunity to receive all of this stuff and the donations that come with that. And also, that's a lot of people in one location. And I think the government would probably just shut us down if we had 3,000 people coming in one day.
Yeah, they might.
So, yeah, so we're going to do a drive-through. They're going to receive a backpack with its school supplies based on their age. There's an elementary school backpack that's for a boy or a girl. And then there's a high school and middle school backpack that would be a boy or girl. So there'd be pink or blue or whatever, or red or whatever. There's all different kinds of backpacks. So so that will, and they will have need for a few volunteers, but not very many. I really don't see Hillside having a chance to do very much there either. So even though the organizations are still finding ways to provide for the basic need, it causes us to not need quite so many volunteers. So
yeah,
there's one more.
Okay.
Unless Travis, do you have questions?
No.
Because you always have questions. Okay.
No, I'm listening.
So Good Sam is Hillside's financial aid. We have not been doing any financial aid for the last probably 2 months now, I think, because we couldn't bring them in to interview them, and we really were kind of waiting to see, because the government's kind of been doing things with their government checks and everything. We really think that the surge of need is going to start showing up very soon now. So Good Sam will start taking their first appointments. We will begin answering the phone for those appointments at 1 o'clock on June 4th, which is a Thursday, which is the normal way we do it, is that they call on Thursday, they make an appointment to come in here on Monday. The only difference is we're going to do phone calls instead of having people come into the church until the church is open again. So they will need to email us their invoice or their lease or whatever it is. We only do rent and we do utilities, but we do see a great need, especially with the utilities, because the power company, I know the utility companies, they are not turning off power or turning off your water, but they're also not forgiving the debt. So the debt they will get twice as big of a bill later on. And when you're living paycheck to paycheck and you've chosen not to make that bill payment because you don't have a job, then, in 2 months, you're going to have twice as big of a utility bill. So we're really expecting for Good Sam to have a huge, huge need in the community. So that's going to start up in June. And we do 2 appointments each Monday. We'll do at least 2 weeks out of each month, but we're hoping to be able to do all 4 weeks. So it just depends on how the demand is and what's going. So we're kind of playing that a little bit by ear, but we wanted to make sure that we were there for the community when they really, really needed it. So that's the changes that we're doing.
Yeah, and that's a lot. And so there's still stuff going on, specifically with Good Sam. I mean, having been able to be a part of that process from time to time, it's a very impactful thing to see. And I know we all hate it that things are different this summer, right? It's like you don't want it to be, because the things you mentioned are all, like, if you've ever been able to be a part of them, they're huge. They're huge for people.
And people just love to do it. And that's why I've been really trying to spend some time, since you had asked me to do this, I've really been focusing on what different ways that we can serve our community without having a lot of people together, and maybe some different ideas. So I have a list of 3 pages. So, well, actually 2.5 pages, but I skipped lines and everything, so it's not as bad as you think. So different ways that you can serve. Now, if that was Travis's 3 pages, we'd be here for 4 hours.
Yeah, because I write tiny.
Big. Yeah. If you've never seen Travis's journal, ask him to show it to you one day.
Yeah.
You should just hold it up for everybody to see.
I can.
Um,
Keep going.
I know.
I'll grab it while you're
Going it,
going.
he can get it and you can see it.
Yeah, sure.
So anyway, so ways to serve that you can do at home. Number one, of course, everybody's been asking for masks, and everybody still need masks. Masks are going to be part of our future, so and part of our lives for a while. So make masks if you love to sew. I tried it. And I sent a friend to an email or a text message, and I said, I tried to make masks today, and I learned two things. Number one is I don't like to sew, and number two, I'm not very good at it. So I made it. It was successful, but I knew it wasn't something I wanted to spend a lot of time. So I might just lose my Jesus. So you can donate to the hospitals. You can donate to churches. You can donate to charities. You can donate those everywhere. Anybody will take them. Doctor's offices, your neighbor. People that don't like to say, do you have your journal?
Oh, I do.
Are you going to hold it up?
Sure. Yeah, just real quick. There you go.
There it is.
Yeah.
That is his journal. It looks like a 2 font.
It's probably
Okay,
like point two font.
I know. Other ways to serve. Of course, food pantries. We've talked about those a lot. They do need people to come and serve. Forever Fed is always looking for volunteers. What they're looking for are people that can serve every single week on a consistent basis on the same day.
Yeah.
So you're teamed up with the same people and you're working with the same people every time. And once they teach you the job, you know how to do it, so they don't have to train somebody new every single week. So if you want to, and that would be your gift to that food pantry, whichever one you go to, they all need help. And they all are looking for people that are dedicated to the ministry. So if you're able to do that, you're comfortable about getting out and working with a small group of people. You'll be wearing masks, you'll be wearing gloves, you're going to take a bath in hand sanitizer, but you can still serve. So that's important. And you can also do, donate. They need food, so you could do a food drive. Mm-hmm. You could do one on your street. You can do it with your neighbors and get together and take it to. And I'm not, Forever Fed's in the Hillside campus, and they've got the donation bin back there in the corner that you can donate to. But if there's a food pantry that's closer to you, then go to that one. They all need food, and they're all talking to each other. So if someone needs green beans and somebody's got a surplus, they're going to share. So just go wherever it is that you need to go. And it's our community that we're trying to serve. So there's not a there's no territory thing. At least I like to think there's not. There might be, but I don't see it.
Yeah.
So let's see. So and Forever Fed's got a food pantry tonight at 6 p.m. It's a drive-through. What they do is they just give them boxes of food. And so that's tonight. And then they have another one on Friday night at 6 o'clock too. So they have two this week here at Hillside. Now there's other ones in other locations throughout the county, and that's what all the pantries are doing. They're all doing food drives where they're handing the boxes out. They're not getting to shop, with the exception of Never Alone. I know that they are allowing people to shop. And I think it's by appointment, but I might be wrong on that. But you do have to contact them to work that one out. Okay. Prison ministries. So people are still in prison, and people in prison are lonely. And
I hate the way you said that.
When I was in prison, you visited me. So you can't really go and visit them. But believe it or not, there's actually good people in the prison system. And I currently don't have any family in prison, but I have in the past. So I know that there are good people that just make poor decisions sometimes, and they end up having to learn a lesson the hard way. So if you have blank cards, like birthday cards or anniversary cards or get well cards or sympathy cards, that you want to donate to the prisons, because those prisoners like to send happy birthdays to their mom or their child or somebody. So you can donate the cards, and then the chaplain at the prison will provide cards for them for whatever type of holiday or event it is that they want to share. So that's a good way. Or you can make cards and with encouraging notes to the prisoners. We had years ago, we had the kids make cards for the prisoners, and it was really cute because the kids, I guess they were talking about the lesson was how Paul was in prison, and this one little child wrote on it, "I'm so sorry that you're in prison," or "I'm so sorry your daddy's in prison." They were going out to the summer lunch kids. "I'm so sorry your daddy's in prison. I hope he gets out soon." So we kind of had to pull that one out. But make encouraging notes to the prisoners and cards. They will be held for the Kairos ministry when that opens up, and they can start doing that again. And that's a great way to let them know that God loves them and cares for them, and that they are being prayed over and prayed for. So prison ministries needs stuff.
Yeah.
Give a kid a chance needs backpacks. So, and you can shop online if you don't want to go to the store. So if you're getting your kids a backpack, think about getting one more extra one.
Hmm.
If you go to giveakidachance.org, it's spelled out the whole way. There's a list of what goes into an elementary school backpack and what goes into a high school, middle school backpack. So you know exactly what to get. Get exactly what it says on the list. Don't do more, don't do less, because we don't want one family to get two backpacks and one of them gets 15 bags of paper, and the other one gets one.
Yeah.
So try and make it even so you don't create conflict within the family. We don't want to do that.
Truth.
Um, so you can pray over where God is calling you to serve. Maybe he's calling you to the mission trip in September. We're still planning to go to the orphanage in September. It's September 19th through the 26th. Start praying about that. If you feel like you might be being called to do a mission trip, now's the time to start thinking about that. They're forming the team now. And if you do want to go, we're just telling everybody to make sure if you purchase an airline ticket, to make sure you get the travel insurance on that, just in case the trip does end up getting canceled. Right now, there's nobody visiting the orphanage. They're all their workers are working overtime to take care of these 500 children. And you can imagine how badly they want the volunteers to come back and help them. Yeah.
So, get that. Yeah.
So I have just a few more.
Shoot.
Am I running out of time yet, Travis?
No,
okay?
we've got a good 4 minutes.
Oh, good. Well, I need about 10.
Oh, well.
So anyway, a virtual, a lot of the organizations have 5Ks that they do, the runs. And even though they tried to do them virtually, I know that they're not getting the response that they would normally do if they had a real 5K where people were running around.
Yeah.
So do your own virtual 5K, or create your own. Pick a charity that you love. Go to your neighbors and your family and say, hey, I'm going to go and take 10 laps around Hobgood Park. Will you sponsor me for $1 a lap or $10 a lap or something like that? And then donate it to the charity and just make it that's a cool family event that you can do. And then just take the money and donate it to whoever. That's, and you can do a virtual with your neighbors. You can stick a little, put a little Post-it note on their door or their window or something, or just yell to them, go for a walk, Travis's neighborhood. They come out and talk to you.
Yeah, heck yeah.
So, so go and talk to them. So another one is a prayer ministry. And I kind of love this one. This one came to me. I think God gave this one to me because it sounds like him. So for those that don't have the money, but I mean, how many of us are really just tired of being at home? And as much as I love my family, and just a little tired of being at home. So this is the thing for you. So a prayer ministry, get in your car. Well, first you want to make up a poster, and I'll tell you what the poster is going to say. So get in your car and drive to a nonprofit charity organization or a hospital or somewhere that you know that needs to be prayed over, and sit in the parking lot. Take out your poster that says, don't mind me, I'm praying for you right now in your organization, and stick it in your windshield and just pray sitting there in your car over that organization. And then take the sign down. Don't drive with the sign still in your windshield. Take the sign down, go drive to another nonprofit organization and pray for that one. Put the sign up, start praying for them, and then do that. And spend a day just going around praying for people, and see if you can take like 10 minutes or 15 minutes and pray over the people that are in there, pray over the building, and just, I can't imagine what it would feel like to walk outside of the building and see a sign that said that, don't mind me, I'm praying for you and your organization right now. And how comforting. It would just touch my heart like crazy.
That's a great idea.
I know. I think that's a God one, because, all the best ideas that I come up with are not mine. They're just, his. So then support your local merchants. We've talked about that.
Yeah.
Tip well. You guys tip well for these. The servers are sharing their tips. I think now a lot of them are.
Yeah.
So just be a little bit more generous and be kind to them, because a lot of them, I just talked to a lady today that after 2 months, she's a single mom with 4 kids. And after 2 months, this was her second day back at work.
Oh.
So tip well. And about the prayer ministry, also, you can just walk around your neighborhood and pray for each house in the family in that house. If you don't want to drive, you can just go take a walk. And then the last one, is this my last one? Yeah, this is my last one. Call your friends and family and talk to them. And don't text them. I'm telling you, don't text. Pick up the phone and stick it to your ear, or do FaceTime or whatever, but call them and let them know that you love them and you're thinking about them and they're important to you, especially grandma and grandpa or whoever. And I hope that my son's watching this, so maybe Mallory will call me this evening. And little James, So call them and let them know how much you love them and how important they are to you, because we need that community, and a lot of people aren't real comfortable with getting out into the
Right.
community yet, and it's going to take a long time for that to happen, and that's okay. We just need to connect with all of our people. That's my last one. So
Yeah. Yeah, she when we got on here, I told Christy, I was like, we're gonna try to limit the time. We're gonna get to where we're like 45 minutes is where we need to be. And she's like, man, everybody always limits me when it's my turn to get up here. People limit my time, and I was like, no, it's not you. It's not you. I promise. I promise it's not you. But those are all good things, and we wanted to have this time because summer's coming, right? We're even though today it's like it feels like a weird fall day in May out here in Georgia. Summer's coming and it's going to be different, and there's all kinds of ways you can serve, and we're going to put the graphic up in a second about just for more information about some of those things. And I think it would probably be cool if at some point we could actually put your list together, and we could put that up on the website of just ideas.
Yeah, I'm planning to do that. I haven't gotten that yet, but I'm going to take this list. I'm going to put it on the website. Give me a couple days. It'll be at hillsideumc.org/serve, and you can see the list up there. The announcement about summer lunches is already there and all that stuff, the updates that a lot of people have received in emails also, but this list, I will put that up.
So we do have a question. Tina Kirkland says, where do we drop off the blank cards for prison ministries?
You're going to have to hold on to those until the church is back open again. So just hold on to them at your house. Don't toss them. And whenever, or Tina, if you're coming into the office, if you have access to the building, you can just put them. There's actually a slot in the mail room for the cards. If not, just hang on to them until the church opens, and then you can drop them off in the mail room, and then we'll make sure that they get to the right people.
Cool. All right.
Or if you know where Dick Branscombe lives, you can go and take them to him too. He would happily receive those.
I know he would. Mm-hmm. Well, Christy, I'm going to put up the graphic, but I want to thank you. Thank you for taking the time. I mean, it's
my pleasure. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, and
it took you long enough to invite me. I know everybody's been waiting for me.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I've been getting messages. They're like, so when's Christy coming? Like, because that's really what I'm looking for. Everything else is great, but when's Christy coming? So Christy's here, so people will be able to watch this going forward. It will stay out in YouTube land forever. I'm just kidding. Until they decide to take it down or something like that. So, but again, thank you for joining us today. Thank you for all the information. And again, I hate it that it's got to be different this summer, but it's one of those. It is what it is. But there's tons of other ways for you to serve. So with that said, I'm going to actually put that up. And if you'd like more information about that, about serving in any way, shape, or form, you can go to hillsideumc.org/serve. We're going to make sure at some point that list of things that Christy shared actually gets up there, so you can actually take a look at that. And you may have a list of things as well. And we would encourage you. We have a Facebook page. Throw some of those ideas out there on our Facebook page, Hillside UMC, and actually these are ideas for serving, right? Because we all need to be doing that, and there's just something about serving that it activates something in us. It brings us joy. It makes us feel alive. And the flip side of that is we're helping someone else, and that's what we're called to do as a church. So with that said, just one more announcement before I pray us out. Oh, Christy wants to come back real quick. Let me bring her back real quick.
I was afraid.
No, go ahead. You're back.
I don't like you having the power to mute me.
Oh yes, it's great.
Yeah, I'm glad that you mentioned the Facebook page, because I made that on a previous note. If you take a picture of your family serving and post that on Facebook.
Yeah.
For Hillside, we would love to see what you're doing and pictures of your family and what they're doing. So that would be a really cool way to do, like, I don't know, Lauren, think of a cool hashtag to put with it.
Yeah, I was about to say if we could develop a hashtag and we could start that whole process over the summer. So we'll probably do that. Good idea. Another great idea just happened right here. Just poof like that. So again, Christy, thank you. Now I'm going to use that power I have and click. So again, hillsideumc.org/serve. And just a reminder, guys, on Friday, Worship Life Live will be at 3 p.m. And so you don't want to miss that. It's going to be a good time with Chris and Sean. And just a kind of a housekeeping thing, when it comes to this midweek connection and Worship Life Live, we're going to start talking about changing the times that we offer these as things get back to a little more normal. So at some point, I'm going to put out some type of survey asking what's the best time for you to engage in these type of things. So until then, just want to pray us out real quick. And as we pray, I want to ask that if you're watching with us online, you just take a moment with us as well. Father, we thank you for the opportunity to be a part of what you have going on in the world and the church. God, we just ask that you continually give those ideas, those God ideas to folks, so that we can serve, and we can serve in a way that glorifies you and blesses others. And we thank you for that. And it's in Jesus' mighty name that we pray. And hope everybody will say with me, Amen. Amen. All right. Until next week. Oh, and next week we'll be starting the conversation about discipleship and spiritual formation. So you'll want to join us for that. So until next week, we'll see you then.